Hey guys, I'm Tara with Tara Simon Studios, and today I am going to be reviewing Hyang once again. I'm very excited. I've reviewed her a couple of other times. She is an honor to review. She's a treat for me. She's such a vocal genius. And today, by popular demand from you guys, I'm going to be reviewing her Bridge Over Troubled Water. Thank you so much for being patient on this one and for being consistently and kindly asking for it. Wait no more. Here we go. I love her dress. I love her. That's head voice right there. Yes. Very nice and tender. Love the breath there. She's creating moments. Beautiful. She's soft here to draw the audience in at the beginning. Beautiful. Nice. Beautiful. So that was a switch between chest to head. Chest. Head. That's head voice. Beautiful, intimate, quiet, tender. Straight tone there. Nice. Great decrescendo. Notice that she swallowed. I was just having a lesson with one of my students the other day, and we were talking about this, about how you want to reset your larynx when you can. The idea is to not have it move much at all when you sing, but it always moves a little bit. It's always going to move. And when you have a chance in the middle of a song, it's always great, especially when you're changing dynamics, like she's just about to do, especially when you're changing registers, to simply take a second in that pause and swallow. Because if you put your hand here, what happens is it resets your larynx. Feel what happens when you swallow. You feel it raise slightly, and then you feel it depress and drop. And that depression and drop is exactly what you want. It sets it back to where it was at a neutral place before you really started singing. And that's what she just did. And then she went into a more volumized chest voice, which is what we're about to hear. So do that little test at home. We'll back it up so we can see what she did there. See it when she, okay, so that was not enough notice, but when she went like that, she was swallowing while she did that. Swallow. Moving on. When you're, and then she's bigger. See, so it's almost like a different vocal character here now. Total chest. Now she's opening up. Yes. For you. Beautiful, nice vowels. Nice. Yes. Full belt. No denying it. And gorgeous vowels felt on, I will say. Yes, look at her mouth. The good. That's awesome. Gorgeous, nice vocal flexibility there. I have to tell you, you may think that's mix. That ain't mix. That top note right there, that is chest. It's almost so high that it zips up into mix, but the intensity of that note and the way that she's singing it, the way that she's shaping that vowel so wide open like that, and her posture, that's chest. It's on the high end of chest, but that's chest. We'll listen one more time. Forward, right there. Yeah. I will say also that I'm a belter too. I love to belt. That, what she just did, the woo-hoo, that is her vocal break. I don't mean break and register. I mean like, let me take a time out for a second. That's her vocal break. I do that all the time too when I sing. And what's funny is that audience members are like, oh my gosh, it's so impressive. And yes, it is. It's impressive that you have the ability to do that. But for a singer who belts, what she's doing right there, and for you belters out there, use this. This is a great, great trick, okay? What she's doing in that moment, when she goes, whatever riff she's doing, she's using a different register in her voice for a second, which also is kind of acting like the swallow. We talked about that swallow in the pause, resetting your larynx. This sort of does the same thing. Not quite as effectively as the straight up swallow, but she doesn't have time to swallow. So she's going up, and it's also a stylistic choice, of course. You know, I'm sure that she's so good that she doesn't need to do this, but it's an added bonus when you change from a big chesty part like she just went through to something that's in your head voice, because it sort of like refreshes the voice. It's sort of like washing your face in the morning. You're awake, but then you feel really nice after you wash your face, right? This is sort of like that for your voice. It's sort of like, oh, I got to sing in a different place. I got a break, even though I was still phonating, and now I'm ready to get back into it again. So let's see where she goes next. I bet it'll be somewhere in her chest voice again soon. Let's back it up and listen. That's so easy for her. Yep, now she's in chest again. Nice crescendo there. Yes. I love how she did that. That mouth. You know that she's making great sounds. Let's say that we muted this, okay? Let's say that we watched this with zero sound. As a singer learning to sing, there is so much richness in the education of what she's doing right here for you to learn. If you didn't listen to this without sound, you would absolutely know a few things. You would know where in volume she was in the song based on the look of her face, based on the posture of her body, and based on what she was doing with her hands. She's a full body singer because singing is a full body sport. And she's utilizing every bit of herself to get that type of note and that type of volume out. So you'd recognize that first of all. You'd also recognize almost what she's saying because she's enunciating so well that I guarantee you if you listen to this without music, you would almost be able to get the phrases, especially in the choruses where she's really opening her mouth and enunciating well. You'd be able to read her lips. That's huge. That tells me that she's a vocal technician. It tells me that she's being intentional about how she's singing and the sound that she's producing. It's not just coming out lackadaisically, it's coming out intentionally. She intended her voice to go where it went, and she intended her voice to sound the way it sounded. That is thinking before you sing it. We talk about that all the time in Sing Smarter, Not Harder, and with my vocal methodology, and she's doing a beautiful job at exemplifying that. So right here where she was going up super high, you see that mouth, and it just allows the sound to just flop out, right? I'm not saying that it's easy for her, but it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier when you have the correct amount of space and support to get those high, really demanding notes out. They're high maintenance notes, you know, it's like those notes need a lot to sound great. And if you don't give it exactly what it needs, it's like a 2-year-old brat. It's gonna kick and scream on the floor, and you're gonna crack and splat and be embarrassed and sound bad and or sound flat. Okay, you're not even gonna get up to the note in the first place, okay? But she's giving the notes exactly what they need when they need it, and this is the result, and it's just beautiful. Let's go back and watch her mouth again real quick. Right there. Look at that. Over. Yes. Yes. Sing it. Beautiful run at the end there, so clean. Yes. Now that's mixed. Yes. You better stand on your feet. Get up. Get up. Woo! No one has the right to sit in that audience. How dare you? Okay, so that last note that she hit, that's a really good example. Let's talk about ratios for a second, because we don't really get into this a whole lot. When you are bridging the gap between chest and mix, and between mix and head, we're not even going to get into whistle tone. Let's just talk about those three main categories of registers. When you're bridging the gap, like bridge over troubled water, I had to do it. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. There are ratios, okay? So what I mean by that is when you're going from chest to mix, you don't just go from 100% chest to a 50% chest and mix. There are ratios of variation. You know, there's a gradient there. Just like when you go from straight up black to straight up white, there's that gradient of gray that you go in between. It's the same thing for your voice. So it's kind of like if you're baking and you have 1 cup here and 1 cup here, 1 cup of solid and of dry ingredients, 1 cup of wet ingredients, and I have a bowl in the middle. If my chest is the dry ingredients and my head voice is the wet ingredients, I'm totally holding up this cup right here and I'm pouring it in. But as I go higher in my range, I'm taking my hand and I'm moving the liquid and I'm still pouring more of my chest voice in, but I'm allowing a slow little drip of my head voice to come in. And that integration is what creates mix. And you, as you get better at mixing, have full control over how much dry ingredients and how much wet ingredients you allow to be incorporated together. So sometimes in lessons, I'll say to my singers, it's a good mix, it's pretty, but it's too pretty. Like I'm missing that grit and that intensity that I'm getting usually from your head voice. So instead of giving me a 50-50 ratio, give me like a 60-40, 60 chest to 40 head. And let's discover what that is. Let's work on how to feel what that is, because it's not like you can grab 2 cups and be like, okay, Tara, you have to feel it. It's intangible, right? So it's all felt, it's all muscle memory, which is the art of singing. That's what makes it so unique and so difficult. And people are wondering, how does she do that, right? Because she feels it. She knows what she's accessing because of that vocal technique, because of the exercises that she does, I'm sure, because of the familiarity she has with all of the different parts of her voice. And then she goes and she accesses those parts when needed, right? So when you talk about ratios, don't think, oh, well, mix is just evenly chest and head. It's not. It can be lots of different ratios, 70-30, 60-40, 50-50, 90-10, 80-20. It can be any of those, and even little fractions in between, okay? So the more granular you get with your approach and your discovery on how to bridge the gap between chest and mix to head, because the same goes for mix to head too. It's the same concept. The better you're going to get and the more control you're going to have when trying to hit notes like her and have them not sound super head voicey or too chesty and strained. You'll have that nice mix in between. So if you're looking to maybe learn how to do that, feel free to click on that link below. There are private lessons that we offer at TSS. Either me or one of my coaches are happy to help you. Also, there is an 8-week course where we do talk about this kind of stuff. It's very content rich, very heavy. It's called Sing Smarter, Not Harder. There's over 47 modules in it. There are lots of you who have already decided to join the course, and I'm so thrilled about that. There are professional singers in it. There's a girl that's going to be doing a debut opening up for a big artist in London, and she bought the course to help her with that. that. There's a few worship leaders in the course who are looking to help their choirs or looking to help themselves sing better as well. There's moms, there's dads, there's former opera singers, and I'm so thrilled that throughout the entire world and the globe there and time zone and all that, there are so many people from different walks of life who are in the course and who are improving, and it's so great to see it working. So if you want to learn more about what we're talking about vocal technique and being a good vocal technician, stretching your capabilities, finding that song that's in your heart that's stuck that you can't get out, then click on that link below for the 8-week course, and I'm so looking forward to seeing your vocal journey grow in that 8 weeks. You don't have to take it in 8 weeks, by the way. You can take it at your leisure, but there's new content that's released every single week for 8 weeks. And you own the content afterwards. So if you're in China, and don't worry, it's not about time zone. It's just the information is drip feed. It's for you. And you're going to really, really benefit from that course. And if you would like some more one-on-one attention, again, you can do privates. But the course is me in video module, and you're getting a huge deal by getting into the course instead of private lessons, although I'd be happy to see you in private lessons too. And as happy as I will be to see you in those things, I'll be just as happy to see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.